Coming to you from the Hudson Media Group studio, this is Talking Politics, and I am New Jersey's premier award-winning journalist. Top 50 Latino as voted on by the Latino Spirit Online magazine, along with the United States Latino Affairs Initiative. And now in back-to-back years, folks, and unsung hero in the community by the Russ Berry Foundation, so I'm very proud of that. And certainly, I'll continue to be the weapon of mass disruption in Garden State media, because my level of honesty is truly necessary in this era of blatant journalistic deception. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Fernando Uribe. Happy Mother's Day in advance to all the moms out there, and certainly we love you all for everything you do for us each and every day. There's a lot to discuss today, so let's get started. Here's what I'm thinking about right now. Folks, I've said it repeatedly on this program and also on Real Talk with Fernando Uribe via Jersey First TV that I consider myself to be a watchdog here in Garden State media, sort of looking out and calling out bad journalism throughout the Garden State. And folks, there's certainly no shortage of suspects each and every week. Of course, I've taken plenty of people to task. They include Tom Moran, the editor-in-chief of the editorial board at the Star-Ledger via NJ.com. Certainly Charles Stile via the Bergen Record and NorthJersey.com, as well as some of the antics that we see, for example, of Matt Freeman, the editor of the New Jersey Playbook via Political NJ. And of course, folks, we all know the jokers at Insider NJ, certainly led by their editor-in-chief, Max Pizarro, along with the rest of the Lollipop Guild there that call themselves journalists. They include women like Jay Lassiter, certainly clowns like, for example, also, columnists like Corin Frankfurt, and of course, Bob Hennelly, folks, Alan Steinberg. I mean, the list goes on and on with awful and really, I guess declining news sites like Insider NJ. But folks, what I like to do every so often is call out some of the, elder statesmen in the establishment media here in New Jersey. And this week, I really have to take to task good old Uncle Dave. That's right, folks. The senior political correspondent for NJ Spotlight News. That's right, David Cruz, fellow Hudson County resident and fellow Latino. But folks, one of the things that was brought to my attention over the weekend was a tweet by Uncle Dave that people said, hey, interesting. I wonder who it's directed at. Now, again, folks, I don't have a complex or anything like that, but the wording was very interesting, and I think it was very carefully calculated. So let me just read you the tweet there as he posted it over the weekend. He writes, now again, this is in response to Lilo Staten, who also writes for NJ Spotlight News, and of course, in reference to the co-founder of NJ Spotlight News, Tom Johnson, who will be stepping down from submitting columns to NJ Spotlight News, effective immediately. But Uncle Dave decides to write, quote, "Who would want to be a journalist today, ? I mean a real journalist, not some self-anointed pontificator with a cell phone camera and a one-note song to sing. The pay ain't great, too many people don't want to be challenged, and attention spans are at an all-time low. A great run, Tom." Well, folks, it got me thinking after I read that, and a few people were like, well, I think it's pretty clear what Uncle Dave is inferring. Well, let me just dissect this a little bit and really highlight how much of a fool Uncle Dave really is. So let's sort of start with the premise of, what's a real journalist, right? Because in Uncle Dave's mind, a real journalist isn't someone, again, as he likes to say, a self-anointed pontificator with a cell phone camera. Well, I'm not sure who he's referring to, Dave, because I know for a fact I'm not self-anointed with anything, nor am I a pontificator. I'm a broadcast journalist. I'm an opinion journalist, an award-winning broadcast journalist, as a matter of fact. I know that's tough for you to swallow, unlike other things that you swallow quite often at the food court down at the Gateway Center. But no, let me not digress here. Okay, and no, I do not use a cell phone camera, nor do other opinion journalists that happen to be conservatives that you don't like. No, we're using state-of-the-art equipment like you are at the NJ Spotlight Studios at the Gateway Center in downtown Newark, right? But what's interesting is the audacity of you to talk about, well, it's tough being a journalist because attention spans are at an all-time low. Well, Dave, here's the reality. They're at an all-time low for you because you're not producing good content. Now, I'll give you credit where it's due. Occasionally, just like a clock is right twice a day too, you'll put out a good segment, a good story. Now, having said that, again, the lead-in is provided by, this just really just nice-looking MILF that's employed by NJ Spotlight News, Brianna Vannozzi. So, of course, when you have Brianna introducing the story, that's really half the battle's already won there. She's nice to look at, and again, one of the better-looking MILFs in New Jersey media. So, of course, from time to time, again, the clock is right, twice a day too, you'll publish a somewhat interesting or worthwhile story. But the majority of the times, Dave, what you're doing is producing garbage content. So hence, when you talk about people having a low attention span, well, you have no one to blame but yourself because you're not keeping their attention. And by the way, I happen to have receipts about all the garbage content that, quite frankly, is killing attention spans for people when they view NJ Spotlight News. So let's start off with, again, recent stories, for example, when you have, insufferable feminists and cat ladies like Amy Torres. Yes, the executive director of the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice. Yes, Uncle Dave likes to bring her on repeatedly when it comes time to talk about immigration reform or what's going on at the border. Yes, folks, an insufferable leftist, okay, who pretty much her level of knowledge is what type of milk they're serving at the local Starbucks in downtown Jersey City when she's going for her third macchiato cappuccino of the week while virtue signaling on social media. Again, as the executive director of an organization that coddles illegals every single day. All right? The drive to give illegals driver's licenses, yes, you can thank insufferable leftists like Amy Torres and other trash organizations in New Jersey, like Make the Road New Jersey, certainly the New Jersey Citizens Action Project, right? Save the Road New Jersey. Folks, I can list many, many others. But what's interesting is Uncle Dave thinks that having someone like Amy Torres who has zero credibility whatsoever, and when we're talking about an issue like immigration, which is a federal issue, right? Somehow you try to sort of twist it around and make it seem like it's a state issue. And what can we do better as a state? No, folks. What we can do better as a state, obviously, is elect a Republican governor in 2025 and maybe undo some of the harm of the emperor the last 8 years by A, making New Jersey a sanctuary state, and B, of course, coddling the illegals at every possible turn. Folks, again, it's budget season, and as Republicans and Democrats in the state assembly and state senate are pontificating about what goes into the state budget, again, it continues to get fatter than the latest Victoria's Secret models. Again, don't take my word for it. Go on the website or go at some of their ads. You'll know what I'm talking about. But somewhere in there, within the state budget, folks, there are taxpayer dollars, your dollars, that are allocated to go into a legal fund to help illegals fight deportation in New Jersey, right? That is the type of blue state nonsense that Phil Murphy subscribes to. And of course, nonsense that Amy Torres is happy to applaud. But of course, you would think David Cruz would know better than to give an insufferable feminist and cat lady like Amy Torres any sort of platform. So again, Dave, when we talk about why people have a low attention span, when you have clowns like Amy Torres on, it's hard to watch. And again, listen, at least give us something, or at least someone that's at least visually appealing. Listen, Amy Torres is not nice to look at whatsoever. Okay, that also adds to the problem. At least have someone credible. Having someone good looking would be, someone hot on the air would be nice too. More on that later. Okay, but when we're talking about attention spans, yeah, Dave, you're not helping any when you have clowns like Amy Torres. Speaking of clowns, let's move on to another clown that you seem to enjoy having on a regular basis on NJ Spotlight News, and that's good old 5'2", Chiquitin, otherwise known as Hector Oseguera, former candidate for the U.S. House of Representatives in 2020. And of course, the usual insufferable leftist and woke fool and social justice clown that we've all come to know. Okay, again, part of the Progressive Democrats of Hudson County, certainly with the Progressive Democrats of New Jersey, and of course, a proud member of the Democrat Socialists of New Jersey. But when it comes to talking about, again, immigration reform or anything else, or even, let's say, about Hispanic and Latino issues, you seem to want to have Hector Oseguera on your show regularly. Now, again, folks, and next time you see Hector, tell her I said hello. But again, when you see him, be careful. I don't want you to pull a quad or pull something in your back or pull a calf. Again, all 5'2" of him. Again, you don't have to kind of, get down on a knee or really bend down just to make eye contact with little Chiquitin. Okay, but when you do that, again, be careful. If you suffer from scoliosis or severe back problems or neck problems, or again, you're concerned about blowing out your quads okay, or your calves or anything. Again, be careful when you do make eye contact with Chiquitin. But what's interesting, though, David, is when it comes to issues that he believes in, there's never any pushback by you, Dave. There never is. There's never any pushback to call him out on the progressive and woke nonsense that he loves to preach. Okay? But again, we're supposed to take David Cruz seriously. And again, in his sort of sanctimony and his self-righteousness, talking about, well, attention spans are low, that's why it's a tough job to be a journalist. Really? Have you checked out my traffic with Jersey First TV? Dave, again, for the month of April, over 20,000 organic views. All right? All organic, nothing boosted. Okay? Same thing in March, around 15 to 16,000 views. February was around 18 to 19,000 views. January was about 18 to 19,000 views. Okay? So it's not a question of that, oh, people struggle with attention spans. No, it's that you have to give them good content. When you give them good content, they have a reason to tune in. But when it comes to Uncle Dave and NJ Spotlight News, you're not giving people a reason, Dave, to tune in. When you're virtue signaling, when there's never any pushback on Democrats in Trenton who continue to spend recklessly, who continue to implement another gas tax, okay? Why aren't you outraged about the average cost of gas right now? It's $3.59 a gallon in New Jersey. Why aren't you outraged about that? But you're more outraged about MAGA extremists, which there aren't any in New Jersey. Not in New Jersey politics, that is. But again, you'll rally against them. But there won't be any pushback against Governor Murphy and, again, the continuation of a bloated budget or coddling illegals or his lapdog, the Attorney General, little Maddie Plotkin, who, again, seems to be more interested in coddling criminals than actually making New Jerseyans feel safe, right? Why isn't there any pushback on that? But no, of course. And what's interesting about Hector Seguera, when you have him on, Dave, is I remember distinctly during 2018 when he and all these other vile human beings decided to go to the Jersey City Heights and harass then county executive Tom DeGise in front of his house because the county had continued their ICE contract with the Department of Homeland Security. Again, an elderly man like Tom DeGise, again, I'm not saying this in an inflammatory way, but an elderly man who just goes to do his job and wants to go home to his family. But of course, Hector Seguera and all these other progressive Democrats and all the Democratic socialists were more than happy to go and harass him on his block and camp outside of his house. Not once, Dave, did you ever call that out. But you keep having clowns like Hector Seguera on your show. Again, it's hard to take you seriously when you have clowns like Chiquitin. Speaking of other clowns, what's interesting, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month, for example, is you'll have guests on, or here's an even better one. Having guests on when it comes to discussing issues that affect the Latino community and the Hispanic community in New Jersey. Now, again, on a recent episode, right, and it's all there, folks. It's not like I'm not concocting anything. I'm not fabricating this. Folks, you can easily Google this. All the slideshow you're watching right now, you can watch all these slides. You can check all these pictures. It's all online. It's from David Cruz's show. So when you're having someone respectable like Jose Arango, that's amazing. Jose Arango, the distinguished chair of the Hudson County Republican Party, good guy. Sometimes we don't always see eye to eye, but he's a good guy. Don't have a bad word to say about him. But then what you do is you nullify his presence by having two clowns during Hispanic Heritage Month. Maria Rodriguez-Gregg, the usual hyper, passive-aggressive hysteric, right? Former assemblywoman, right? What's she going to talk about? She can't talk in Spanish. So during Hispanic Heritage Month, what's she going to talk about? Her sorry-ass Philly teams that she follows? Her garbage Eagles? Her garbage 76ers? The trash Phillies? What's she going to talk about? She's been out of office for like 7 years. What's she going to talk about? Her cushy little job at Woke State over there in Montclair? Please. What's she going to offer? Can she even talk in Spanish? Of course not. Neither can you, Dave. More on that later. But then you'll also have clowns like Patricia Campos Medina who have no business, know nothing academics, coincidentally. I mean, check out the irony in that one. Know nothing so-called policy experts running for the U.S. Senate. Okay? Whose broken English, isn't anywhere near as bad as some of the illegals I see walking on Burger Line Avenue. But again, this is a woman who you take seriously. This is a woman who you think is a viable candidate for the Democrat Party during the upcoming primary for the United States Senate. Maria Rodriguez-Gregg, again, another hyper-hysteric woman in New Jersey politics. That's who you want to have on when discussing issues affecting the Latino community? What's she going to talk about? How many Starbucks coffees she grabs at Cafe Diem on the campus of Montclair State University? Really? Is that what she's going to talk about? Is that what Patricia's going to talk about? That's who you have on when discussing issues that are important to the Hispanic community, right? And even makes it worse, during actual Hispanic Heritage Month, again, no slight to Junior Maldonado, the distinguished Hudson County clerk. Love Junior. Great man. Bilingual. Love him. But during Hispanic Heritage Month, Dave, okay, yo sé que tú no hablas español y tampoco Maria, but really, is it really worthwhile to have two Hispanics, two proud Boricuas and two proud Puerto Ricanos who can't speak a lick of Spanish? What good does that do during Hispanic Heritage Month? Really? But this is who you'll have on. And then you wonder why your episodes on YouTube have very little traffic and why people are struggling with their attention spans, because you're not giving them a reason to watch and tune in, David. And last but not least, of course, when you decide to have a vile Hollywood liberal like George Lopez, right? A guy who's been irrelevant in Hollywood for years, okay? Another insufferable left-wing activist in Hollywood, right? All these, liberal elites, limousine liberals, right? Right, okay. This is who you want to glorify on a show, David. Coincidentally, this is the same guy in 2018 who, when walking in West Hollywood, near the Hollywood Walk of Fame, decided to, well, he didn't actually do it because that would have been, vandalism and public indecency summons in the city of Los Angeles. But he, I guess, was maybe simulating, urinating on the star of the 45th president, Donald Trump, on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Is that classy, Dave? Is that someone you relish in having? So, of course, David, these are just a small sample size. And again, all that took was 30 minutes for me to look this up. But again, David, the moral of the story is, and let's be honest, you don't have a leg to stand on. And what's interesting, again, and let's go back to your tweet here. Who want to be a journalist today? ? I mean, a real journalist, not some self-anointed pontificator with a cell phone camera and a one-note song to sing. The pay ain't great. Too many people don't want to be challenged, and attention spans are all-time low. A great run, Tom. Well, Dave, here's something to kind of burst your bubble here. But the New Jersey Society of Professional Journalists gives out credentials to who they deem to be journalists. Last time I looked, and I take naps every day, I don't think I was asleep that long. But did I wake up in some sort of alternate universe? Did the multiverse seem to open up and a portal open where maybe I'm in an alternate dimension? Where somehow Uncle Dave is the end-all, be-all decider about what's a journalist in New Jersey? It's not you, Dave. And again, to use a very popular Cuban phrase, yo me lo profundio de o que tú piensas o que es un periodista. Because the New Jersey Society of Professional Journalists gives me credentials, as you see there. And they'll give me credentials again and again and again because I am a journalist. So contrary to Uncle Dave's very sort of ignorant opinion, Fernando Uribe is a journalist. As you can see by my traffic, a really good one. But again, that's way above Uncle Dave's pay grade. And again, I get it. Dave's like 85, 86 years old. Cognitively, Dave's ya no está ahí. Ya está un poquito jodido en la cabeza. But you know what? When it comes to being accurate, when it comes to being factual, trustworthy, and honest, folks, people don't think of David Cruz. People think of Fernando Uribe. The traffic says so. Not the traffic that people like Uncle Dave and other Mickey Mouse journalists have, because their only conceptual understanding of traffic is looking at the cars driving by on Route 1 and 9, or Kennedy Boulevard, or Boulevard East, or Route 3, or the New Jersey Turnpike. Here on this show, and on the rest of my media brand, yeah, that's real traffic. Not the traffic that he knows. But then again, what does Uncle Dave really know anyway? And that's what I'm thinking about right now. And now some local stories for your consideration. And a special thank you to John Hines, a fellow member of the Pinnacle, fellow Rutgers alumnus, and the editor of the Hudson County Review for his reporting on this story. Folks, as you all know, this past Sunday night, courtesy of the New Jersey Globe and its editor, David Wallstein, a big fan of this show, by the way, and a fan of my media brand overall, hosted a primary debate between U.S. Representative Rob Menendez here in the 8th Congressional District and his challenger, the mayor of Hoboken, Ravinder Bala. Now, again, I had the opportunity to sit there for an hour and watch this debate. And, folks, it wasn't really a debate. It was a drubbing. To say nothing of the fact in the beginning, again, you have all afternoon and early evening to check the sound. And for some reason, and I'm sure Vijay Chichari and the rest of the Lollipop Guild helping Ravi prepare, right? Joe Quintero, Emily Jabor, Phil Cohen. I'm sure that again, they pretty much remind us how useless they are when they had all day to test sound and picture, and you can even get that right in the first 30 seconds of the debate. But having said that, folks, I knew that Rob Menendez would come out with decorum, with poise, and come out very calmly, and he did. And to sort of use a phrase a lot of you sports fans will appreciate, yeah, he came out swinging, and he connected in all of his punches. And for a guy like Ravinder Bala, who's the challenger, who you think has to come out swinging and actually connect, it was a swing and a miss on everything that Ravinder Bala put out there. Because again, Ravi, it's not just about, oh, Rob's dad is bad. Rob's dad did this. Rob's dad did that. No, again, Ravi, you're an attorney. You should have, I guess, remember this when you took constitutional law in law school. Again, the presumption of innocence is what's bestowed upon every American. It's what makes our legal system complex, but yet better than everyone else's on the planet. Just like the 45th president is entitled to due process and the presumption of innocence, so is Rob Menendez's dad, the senior U.S. Senator, Bob Menendez. We'll see what happens with his trial as it begins later this week, but nevertheless, that's all Robbie had to go on, is just keep bringing up Rob's dad at every turn. And by and large, a quote that really stood out for me, and Rob said it repeatedly, again during the debate, was, hey, when the time came to get involved, I raised my hand because I want to represent this district. You keep saying that over and over again, Rob, and again, that's a reflection of your dedication to the district. What's Robbie going to run on? Oh, yes, under his leadership or lack thereof in Hoboken, yes, I prioritize pronouns over property taxes. And during Pride Month, I make sure that all the crosswalks are repainted with rainbow colors. And during Pride Month, I make sure that I use tax dollars to have drag queen story time at the Hoboken Public Library, right? Or that, again, as flooding continues to be a problem in Hoboken, yes, you're opening up another park. Yeah, way to go, Robbie, in battling climate change. Or the continuing infestation of rats in the city of Hoboken. Not just the rats working in City Hall, like VJ Chichari, your little second banana there, right? And the rest of the clowns at City Hall. No, folks, like actual rats, rodents that are a public health hazard to seniors, to children. These are things you should be addressing, Robbie. What are you going to run on exactly? And I'm glad that Rob articulated his record. Never mind endorsements. Endorsements come and go. But bringing back federal dollars from Washington to the 8th Congressional District. Folks, it was embarrassing. And we'll see what Robbie Bala can do to rebound from this, but it wasn't a good performance. And again, a good review by John Hines there via the Hudson County View. In other local news, and once again, thank you to John Hines, the editor of the Hudson County View, for his reporting on this story. The Hudson County Executive, Craig Guy, will succeed Hudson County Democratic Chair Anthony Veneri during the upcoming reorg meeting in the month of June. Now, Anthony Veneri, what a surprise when he has to actually do some actual work, will not be seeking another term, and instead will be endorsing Hudson County Executive Craig Guy to succeed him once again as the upcoming chair of the Hudson County Democratic Organization. Veneri prepared a statement this week, quote, "It's been a great honor and privilege to serve as the HCDO chairman for the past 2 years. Working together with all the county committee members, municipal chairs, and all the mayors, we built a stronger party that elected a new county executive, 2 new state senators, and 5 new assembly members. I'd like to thank all 12 mayors for their support, particularly my mayor, Nicholas Sacco, for his enduring confidence in me to lead our party. Craig Guy has worked alongside me these past 2 years and represented the HCDO on numerous occasions, and I'm proud to endorse Craig to succeed me as HCDO chairman. He has earned this honor, and I know he will work hard to keep the HCDO one of the strongest and most unified county democratic organizations in the state of New Jersey." Well, folks, here's the truth. The biggest power broker in Hudson County politics is Union City Mayor and State Senator Brian Stack. And he wanted no part of Anthony Veneri. And can you blame him? Anthony doesn't like to work. Anthony doesn't like to roll up his sleeves and do anything. So again, while the title is cute, with the abolition of the line, it pretty much renders him and other county chairs pretty powerless, right? Without having to give line endorsements, well, what really is a county chair supposed to do now? Yeah, sure, you can mobilize committee members, you can fundraise for local candidates, certainly. And I know that Craig Guy will make an excellent county chair. Again, I'm not a Democrat, but I can recognize a good work ethic when I see one. And that's what we see in Craig Guy. He has flawlessly transitioned into becoming the county executive, succeeding longtime executive Tom DeGise. And we've seen what Craig Guy can do. We see how committed he is. And listen, he and I can disagree on a multitude of different policies and philosophies as a conservative and obviously with him being a liberal Democrat. but there's no denying his work ethic, and certainly he'll continue to work hard in his capacity as the new chair for the Hudson County Democratic Party. And for Anthony Veneri, well, again, folks, is it really a surprise that when it comes time to roll up your sleeves and do any actual work, that Anthony Veneri sort of refrains from that? Not surprising to this journalist, and guess what? It's not a surprise to many others in Hudson County politics. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to send a very happy Mother's Day greeting to all the moms out there in Hudson County and, of course, everyone else throughout the state of New Jersey. I am very privileged and fortunate to have my mom still around, and my aunt, and certainly some of the best mothers I will know, my bestie, and of course my BFF. I'm not going to mention their names, obviously, but they know who they are. But these are outstanding women who have raised amazing children, amazing men and women who have been productive and have been very good citizens. And again, my heart and my love goes out to all of them, especially my mom, who's been sort of the backbone of my family for as long as I can remember. A Cuban immigrant who left Cuba with nothing but a suitcase, leaving communism and totalitarianism behind. It's a woman who I admire more than anybody in my adult life. My aunt, her sister, again, leaving Cuba with nothing but a suitcase, fleeing totalitarianism and communism, coming here to make a new life, learn a new language, learn new skills, work hard and retire and have a nice pension to live on. Same thing for my mom. Hardworking immigrants who came here the right way, the legal way, and did it the right way. And not only that, but raised their children with love. I'm immensely grateful to my mom, my aunt, even my grandmother, who unfortunately did pass 4 years ago, but was very fortunate to live up until the age of 102. I can tell you, for the better part of my entire life, my grandma was an amazing influence on me. I'll forever love her. And for all the moms out there who work hard every day, sometimes working 1, 2, even 3 jobs, and then having to come home and raise kids, do laundry, make dinner, help with homework. It's to you, the moms, this weekend. Celebrate the moms out there, whether they're your mom or not, neighbors, friends, whoever. Celebrate all the moms out there for all the great things that they do, because, folks, when we think about it, Mother's Day is every day, with all their sacrifices, all their contributions, and quite frankly, all the love that they give us. I've been extremely blessed, and I know many of you have been too. So once again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there who watch the Hudson Media Group every single week. And that's our show for this week. Once again, I want to thank the executive producer and CEO of the Hudson Media Group, Patrick O'Melia, and of course the outstanding staff here at the Hudson Media Group for their belief in my abilities and for their outstanding work every single week. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it's not easy filming, and trust me, they help me make it look very, very easy every week. So I'm grateful for their work, their dedication, their attention to detail, and quite frankly, how fluid everything runs every single week here. You can always check out all the great content brought to you by the Hudson Media Group. Check out their website on YouTube, of course. Make sure you like them on Facebook, and of course, follow them on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to also like Talking Politics with Fernando Uribe on Facebook, and of course, follow me at the handles provided below on Instagram and Twitter. And always remember, ladies and gentlemen, if it's unbiased, unfiltered, and unafraid, it's always Talking Politics right here with the Hudson Media Group. I am New Jersey's premier award-winning journalist, top 50 Latino as voted on by the Latino Spirit Online magazine, along with the United States Latino Affairs Initiative, and in back-to-back years, a recipient of the Unsung Hero in the Community Award, courtesy of the Russ Berry Foundation. So I'm very grateful and humbled by their award. And certainly I'll continue working hard for them for the years to come. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'll continue to be the weapon of mass disruption in Garden State media, because my level of honesty is truly necessary in this era of blatant journalistic deception. I am Fernando Uribe, folks. Thank you so much for watching Talking Politics here with the Hudson Media Group. Take care of yourselves. Once again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Stay safe, everyone. Please party responsibly, and we'll see you next week here on the Hudson Media Group. And always remember, stay classy, everyone.